What?
And we are live. Okay, killer.
You don't know about Burger King foot lettuce?
I don't know about Burger King foot lettuce.
You're literally lying
Welcome
right
to
now.
the table.
Welcome to
everybody,
Burger
welcome
King
to the
foot
table.
lettuce.
Welcome to Burger King. How can I burger?
Welcome to the most niche D&D game ever, aka Burger King
The way
foot
that I
lettuce.
described it to Forge of Lore last night. Also, shout out Forge of Lore, another great actual play show. Definitely go check them out, subscribe to them. And I also met with DM Steve and Emmy, and they're both super cool. And I think everybody should check them out. Talking to them, they were like, "How would you describe your game? Like what kind of genre is it?" I was like, Saturday morning cartoon is the vibe we're going for.
That's accurate.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, and I'm super
Check
excited.
out memes and media for some education.
Oh?
Yeah. Burger King foot lettuce.
Foot lettuce.
The last thing you want in your Burger King
Burger King
lettuce
burger
is someone
is
else's,
someone else's foot fungus.
Yeah. But yeah, so for oh, also, by the way, we're starting a new in-game, when I do it, if I say the word or you all get 1 temp HP. And every time I do that, you guys get that. It's going to help me not do that anymore.
I'm keeping a tally.
Do it, absolutely. And you can
Thank God
count me up
somebody
is,
afterwards as
'cause
well.
I
What's up?
Also, I need it known that I was very relieved because I was fully expecting bare feet and lettuce.
No.
I was relieved that they were in sneakers.
I would
I'm
never
gonna
do
be-
that to you.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you right now, and this might be sacrilege. In that photo, like, of course, I don't want anybody's feet touching my lettuce. Okay? For some reason, the fact that the feet are wearing socks are worse to me. Like, if they were barefoot, I would almost prefer that. Because
But he's wearing sneakers.
well, is he not in socks? Wait, let me.
No, he's in like sneakers.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, it's not great either. But none of it would be good.
Let me visit this. Is he
That
actually?
is both above the threshold of which I mean below the threshold of at which point I will eat a burger.
I must have seen like another image where like someone else did it in like socks, because I don't know why, but it's like from worst to best, it's definitely sneakers being the worst, and then I would say socks would be second worst, and then like no, because bare feet, because I feel like people like bare feet, I feel like once you take off the socks would be cleaner than socks. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Because like socks are like soaking up all the sweat. Like you know.
And if you've been walking around in socked feet, then the socks have whatever you were walking on.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Here on Rulebook Optional, we logic out Burger King foot lettuce.
Saturday morning cartoon. This is the ad break. This is us being. This is us.
I feel like we go from either Saturday morning cartoons to Adult Swim.
Oh yeah. Well, I wanted to talk to Darby about because Darby, did you watch House of the Dragon?
No.
So, and you seemed okay. So everybody watching live, I didn't know that. So and we're not going to talk about childbirth as a process.
Why are we doing this?
Okay. We're not talking about it as a process. Just talking about it in media. I did not know that afterbirth was a thing, like a process of the pregnancy, until House of the Dragon. And the reason
They do always skip it in TVs and
the American
movies.
The American
doctor shows
health
are like-
class has failed us.
Because, doctor shows are like, gruesome surgery, and then childbirth. Gross.
yeah.
They're like, the baby's here. It's done now. Yay!
Miracle of life.
She's done her job. Fuck her now.
The first ever childbirth I ever saw was on Cake Boss. You guys know that?
What?
Yeah.
They filmed that
They
for
did.
Cake
I
Boss?
don't know how.
Did he make a cake about it?
I kid you not. It is a core memory. It was the first time I ever saw anything this gruesome. This is on like fucking MTV. Darby, look it up, see if you can find it.
Are you sure it's Cake Boss?
It was like an Italian man who ran a cake shop. I'm pretty sure it was Cake Boss.
Yeah, Buddy Velastro.
Buddy Velastro.
Yeah, exactly. So what happened
New
was
Jersey
Hoboken.
boy.
there was an episode
Hoboken.
back in like
Hoboken.
2008, 2009.
Why
where
did the Cake Boss go to jail?
Where
DUI.
What?
DUI.
No.
Buddy,
How do you know
no.
that off the top of your head?
It was peak New Jersey headlines when it happened.
Somehow I missed
Okay,
it.
so to get back on track, so the first
And the
image
track being childbirth,
the
okay.
first image that I had of childbirth ever shown to me was on Cake Boss, because there was an episode where it's like they had to get a cake done, and I would assume it was like I would assume it's real, and I thought it was real. It might have been totally staged. I'm not entirely sure. His wife was pregnant at the time, and so he had to actually step out from making the cake because his wife went into labor, and it might have been staged. Again, I might be an idiot. I don't know. At least what I saw when I was a kid was a graphic depiction of him holding a camera, filming his the childbirth, and he's crying, and then it hard cuts over to straight up full vagina crowning baby head, and then when the baby they get the shot of the baby fully coming out of the lady, and then it shows him like gray and like shriveled up and stuff, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like,
Yeah.
I might be totally wrong. That might not be real. I'm not sure.
I was gonna say, there's no way. Cake Boss was on TLC.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I swear to God.
I think
I
you just
really
imagined
think
this.
you were wrong.
Bro, the first time I saw childbirth was in my junior year health class in high school. Our health teacher just, like, first day of health class, he was like, we're ripping the Band-Aid, and he hit play, and we were like, what the fuck?
The baby special. Let me see if I can find this. I'm on
Jesus.
YouTube right now.
I looked up Cake Boss childbirth, and it was like at least in Google Images, it was like Buddy Blaster and his wife, and then just all a bunch of Boss Baby cakes. Not related to Cake Boss whatsoever. Just a bunch of Boss Baby birthday cakes.
Who wants a Boss Baby birthday cake?
Kids, I don't know.
Okay, this is staged.
I don't understand
this
why
is
kids like
staged.
the
Yeah.
Boss
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a reality show, babe. Of course it was staged.
Yes, okay, but I have just been living with the assumption that it was real.
Reality TV is not real.
I was like 8.
Buddy of
okay?
Elastro is not real.
He doesn't
not
even
real.
own a cake shop.
Nope. He's animated.
Okay, we want to play D&D, or what's going
Yes,
on now?
please.
Okay, Christ on a bike. All right, so we're all ready to play D&D. Any other announcements
Shout
before
out
we
to
hop
Buddy
in?
Blastro. Come play D&D with us.
We've got a box just for you.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to make another community post. It's going to be Celebrity Round 2. Who's going to get back to us?
Is Buddy Blastro even on
YouTube?
social media?
I don't know. Who would
Social
know?
media, period.
Okay. So,
Ignore me, go ahead.
let's all start playing D&D. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's stop talking about childbirth, please.
exactly. Yep.
Let's stop talking about Cake Boss.
Okay. Any other announcements before we get going?
Thank you for 64 subscribers.
64.
Thank you for
Thank
64
you.
subscribers.
Thank
We
you,
love
and if
that.
you're watching this and you've made it through the childbirth, thank you so much for sticking around.
Yeah, exactly. If you're like,
And if you're
Promise
watching
we
us
play
while you're
D&D.
giving birth, thank you.
if
Thank you.
the first
Ba-da-ba.
thing that your baby sees as they open their eyes is not the mother's face, but is in fact all 5 of our faces,
Our dumb fucking faces, just like.
his first word's gonna be in chat. Okay. Anyway,
Oh
let's
my God.
hop right
If
into
we
it.
can get to 69 subscribers, we'll get.
If we get to 60
Paula
subscribers,
Abdul.
Careful, careful,
I will get-
careful.
I
How
said
about
we'll
this?
get
there.
Paula Abdul, or
If-
one of our many celebrity cameos.
if we get 69 subscribers, I will give birth live on stream. Okay.
Hashtag Empreg.
The fact that we're on TikTok and the fact that the Gen Z attention span is what it is means there could one day be a mother giving birth, scrolling through TikTok and seeing us on her phone.
It's just
Think
like,
about that.
It's fucking Subway service. Okay, push.
So-
Childbirth boring as hell.
You 25 female, your baby 0 unknown, just fully.
Oh my god.
Okay,
I'd
deep
be-
in
Subway Surfers on the screen behind her head, so the doctors are focused.
doctors.
Yeah.
Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole for putting on Subway Surfers when my wife was giving birth? Okay, without further ado,
yeah.
how about a deep and cleansing breath so we can put all
man.
this behind
Yes,
us? That sound
please.
good?
Yes, please.
Okay, everybody
So
please
good.
join me.
Please cut this.
Oh no, it's all staying in. Okay, everybody please join me. Okay, and everything after the breath is canon. Let me go to my small little document here and see if I can find something to say. So yes, everybody. So we are back. We're back in the land of Allatour. So, last time, just a quick recap. After the pretty ones, Les Jolies, departed Castle Entree and the city of Jumelage, following the theft of the necklace of the pillars by Winterscott Key, they found themselves traveling east down the Queen's Road, towards the southern section of Allatour. Here, they stopped at their first small little encampment of Voir-le-Village, Voir for short, where two problems were laid out before them. Our heroes chose to ride off in search of the sheriff and his 6 deputies instead of searching for the mayor's son and the baker's daughter. This pursuit has led the pretty ones deep into the ancient glade, and they were able to recognize that although both lawmen and poachers stalk these woods, so does a Leshy, a nature spirit made flesh and bone, figuratively speaking. We left off as the pretty ones realized that they were ass backwards lost in the ancient glade and heard weeping coming from a nearby thicket of bushes, leaves, and trees. The floor is yours. What do you all do?
With the information I got at the end of last session, as we're moving, I think Cherie would be steering her horse towards the sound of the crying.
Okay.
I will address the group and say to them, we are in the area of a Leshy. It is native to the Feywild. It has not been seen here in hundreds of years since the first king and queen. It targets hunters, farmers, poachers, campers. It's very territorial. I don't know how intelligent it is, but it is weak to necrotic damage and fire. Proceed with caution.
It shouldn't come to that. I've read about these things before. They can be reasoned with. They're just looking to protect what's around them. We'll chat with it. Maybe it could point us in the right direction.
Would you like me to fly up above the canopy and maybe try and figure out where we are?
I think it is best if we stick together. I admire the thought, but I think it is best we stay together so as not to get more lost.
Okay. Any input from Bleursault before we go to everybody's actions?
Well, I mean, we established that it targets hunters and things. I mean, we're just travelers, though, so we'll probably be fine, right?
Yeah, we must be.
As everybody is kind of just talking immediately, I would like Bleursault and I would like Cherie to give me a nature check. Or an animal handling check. I'll let you guys decide what it is.
Nature or animal. Is this regards to Fae, Fiend, or Undead?
I'm gonna say. Actually, I'll say yes. Yes, it is.
Yes. Okay.
I got a 4
4?
on nature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nature. That's a 21.
21. With a nature check, Cherie, so Blur, as you're just kind of riding, you guys are able to come to a small little clearing of grass and roots, basically, and your horses you kind of rear them very quickly and just kind of force them to halt. And as you guys are kind of like just circling each other on these horses, Cass, God damn it, I'm not saying I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it anymore.
I wasn't paying attention.
Cass,
We get a
your
temporary
mule.
hit point.
Hathor,
Keep it a tally.
your broom. Blur, you're kind of riding. Cherie, you recognize something, and you realize that as you're all kind of circling each other, you said strong black workhorse, very stagnant in its expression. You notice that its head is kind of like looking around a little bit. And with a 21 nature check, you realize that this horse is not looking around. It's trying to crane its neck in a way to look at you.
The
I
fuck?
don't like that. I don't like that
The
at all.
horses?
And as you are able to look over, you see God damn it! Fuck! You see, pulling it to a stop. We might have to end that rule when we hit like 10 because I'm just not gonna stop doing that.
Did you say or
Whatever it happened, they both count.
Do we get a different amount depending?
If I say it's 1. If I say it's 30. So
wow! All of a sudden, like
Bleur's horse as well is doing the same, but Bleur doesn't seem like to be like an experienced rider similar to yourself, and so it doesn't really recognize a strange behavior. Like to an untrained person, it's not like it's some like very obvious thing like you'd have to be stupid to miss. It's like imagine like a horse fly trying to get in like the horse's eye. Basically, it just seems like kind of shaking around, but you were able to recognize more deliberate than that. I did?
Yeah. Like a.
Like
That's
like
A.
like
No,
A.
no. Okay, sure.
Okay,
I'll let you get away with it this
I will
time.
call myself out when it happens so I can regulate myself. So Cherie, you recognize that. Hathor, do you choose to go up? Because I'm gonna say Cherie recognizes that. Do you choose to go up above the up above the trees?
If I go above the trees, do I get the sense that I'll be lost? Like, is the magic... Like, will I get separated?
You get the sense that if you were to go up and away from the so do you? Okay,
should I make like an Arcana check or?
I'll ask you this: when you say go up, do you mean go up above the tips of the trees, or do you mean go up like maybe up as in like 30, 40, 50 yards up, so you're beneath the treetops, but still like within the forest? Like, which would you prefer to do?
I think I'd like to do that.
Okay.
And just like get a sense, like keep an eye on my party, but also like maybe do a perception check of like if there's anything around us. Is the Leshy like a couple yards away from us, or... So
it's pretty obvious right now to all of you that the Leshy is not within spitting distance of you. You feel like you've entered, and I will say this for like those that kind of pass that check, you've just entered into its territory. And most likely, just because of the like ambient magical properties of it, it's been leading you guys in circles for the last couple hours. And so you've stayed with, although you're deep within the ancient glade, you've been trapped in this like magical sphere because you hadn't recognized that that's what was happening before. There is the option just to leave now if you want, because now you know what's happening and can combat it.
Okay. Knowing all of what was told to us, I think on Cherie, can I do a perception check first?
On the ground?
Yeah, just like I'm up high, I want to get a bird's eye view.
Okay, so you're elevated.
And just like be aware of the terrain around us.
Okay, so you're elevated now. So you're elevated up, and you want to do a perception check down to just your immediate area.
Yeah.
Yes. Then in that case, give me it. So it'd be, and I'll let you know this now. It would be at disadvantage if you were on the ground level, but because you were up in the sky, and that would give you advantage, it's going to be a flat roll. Okay.
Oh, not too shabby. Perception.
And actually,
that's a 16.
16. Okay. I'm going to actually roll a quick check. I'm going to roll it with advantage.
And then I have a thing I want to do for Cherie.
Okay.
For you.
You're not able to see the Leshy. With a 16, you said, you're able to hear that. You're able to hear that crying still, obviously. And the further and further up you go, you're not able to see every single branching path this forest could take you on, but you're able to see, I'm going to say, two things. The first thing you're able to see is where the traditional sense of like a hiking path is no longer existent. You're able to see, what appears to be a small little slit, maybe like a foot wide, of some kind of trail. And it looks like, even when deer and elk and bears kind of have their own paths that they traverse their territory with, this looks even thinner than that. Like it's some kind of minute impact on the environment around it. That's number one. Number two, what you're able to see is around these small little incisions into the nature, epic overgrowth of flowers and mushrooms and trees, and you would recognize that anything off of this very small beaten path is going to be difficult terrain, and that would apply to mounts as well as you guys on foot.
Okay.
Now, it would not apply to you because you're flying above it right now.
Look at me go.
And the last thing that I'm going to say, which I would recognize with a 16, because it's not really hidden, is very, very close to you. Only about, I'd say, again, near that kind of thicket that you guys hear the crying coming from. You're able to see, let me just have to get the map up really quickly.
Also, shout out to Owlbear Rodeo and your beautiful update. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, it looks absolutely
Shout out to
wonderful.
Owlbear Rodeo.
Yep.
And for keeping it free, like, holy shit. Thank you.
And let me just quickly grab...
Everybody should use it. It's incredible.
Yep. Oh. Is that making more or making more?
Yeehaw!
You can make circles
Look at
now.
all those beautiful circles.
Oh, there's a guy there. Oh, yeah, there's a guy there. Okay, well, fuck me, that doesn't work anymore. And you're able to see... Okay, get him out of there. You don't know
I'll
what's
see a
there.
guy.
You would never know.
I didn't get a chance to see it, so...
I don't see a guy.
What the fuck? Why is it showing you on there? All right. Okay, but yes, and you're able to see these... Within this thicket, you see small, it almost looks like glitter in a way coming off of the trees.
In there?
And you're able to see these ginormous mushrooms almost hidden by the nature. And instead of it being the traditional, like, vibrant white or red or orange, you're able to see glowing, almost luminescent pinks and purples and things of the sort. Like a neon. And that's very confusing. And that's what you're able to see. I'm going to say that's, unless you want to fly directly away from the party, that's all you can see for right now. Make sense?
Okay. Yes. I'm going to fly down and fly next to Cherie and be like, since you seem to know the most about what's going on here, and Hathor will clap a hand on your shoulder, give you a little pat and say, don't die, and will cast protection from evil and good on you, so that until the spell ends, blah blah blah, protected against Fae, and so
Okay.
So the Leshy will have disadvantage because I'm assuming it's a Fae creature.
Yes, it is.
It'll have disadvantage on attack rolls against Cherie. And also, Cherie can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed.
Okay. Just make sure to remind me of that if any of that comes into play. All right?
I'm writing it down.
Killer.
Fright.
So,
Possess.
Hathor, as you're kind of doing that scouting run, Cass, Cherie, and Bleursault, what are you guys doing?
Excuse me. Well, first I will thank Hathor for the spell. Just give her a nod and say, thank you. Sorry, Cass, you were gonna say something.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I kind of like lean over to you both, just speak very quietly and say, I really think that we can reason with this thing. I've read about them, and they're intelligent. They just want to protect the space, and I'm sure that if we tell them that we just want to find our people and leave, that it'll all be hunky-dory. What's the leave only footprints, take only all of those people that are lost.
Zero
you.
impact. Is this
Yeah, that
how
kind of
like
thing.
things happen in your country? Do you like talk things out before you punch each other, or it's interesting?
Well, I mean, depends. There's situations for punching, and there's situations for
It's just
words.
interesting me that like that's your default. You know, talk first, then punch.
I'm very good at talking.
By all means,
Of
Honorable
course.
Viscount, if you believe you have the knowledge with this creature, by all means, you have everyone's full permission to lead the way and take charge on this. But if this creature believes it is protecting the people we are tasked to save, I worry what talking will do.
Well, I figured they're not a part of the nature. It probably wants them gone as much as it wants us gone.
Drew.
We all.
No, I got it. I'm testing. I'm listening, and I'm spinning plates.
If we're worried about not knowing what its incentive is in regards to the people that we're trying to rescue, we could try to, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how we would do this, but get it to tell us if it likes those people or the idea of letting those people go or not before we tell it what we're here to do.
Yeah. Just that we're looking for them. Just because. Yeah. Is that all right?
We were not tasked with killing a monster. We were tasked with rescuing the sheriff and his men. I just want you to know where I stand if things turn awry.
Okay. Yeah, back up, plan. Meh, do the... Meh, yeah.
Since you have the smart mouth, why don't you lead the way, Honorable Viscount?
I know you don't mean it nicely, but I take it as very much a compliment. And I'll sort of ride ahead and kind of like look around and raise my voice to Cherie just a little bit, and say in Sylvan, hello, we do not at all mean to intrude. We are simply trying to locate a band of people from a nearby village. We simply want to remove them from your hair so that we can get out of your hair just as quickly. If you might point us in the correct direction, and then we can leave you be. Leave your forest be.
So you say this... So you're actively trying to get the Leshy's attention?
Yes.
Okay. And you ride forward on this small little earth-trodden path, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm riding behind him.
Okay.
For muscle.
This certainly is like single file, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. What happens then as you say that, as you guys kind of ride forward? And I'll just place you guys to like the back of kind of like what just as far as you guys can see right now, and I'll open the rest up a little bit later on. As you guys are riding past, you look into these like this mushroom thicket. Because you're so close to it, it's pretty easy to see almost instantly. You're able to see somebody inside. And actually, let me just quickly I'll just put Cass in the darkness there, and then just lighten it all up for you, and I'll just do right nice. There, and I will just let there be light. There you go. And you're able to see a fork in the road in front of you as well. Now, with that, as you kind of call out, as you guys are riding past, you're able to see
Can I point out the trail for them?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna say Cherie right behind Hathor. You can be right above Cass and just kind of point out where this like small trail is, just make sure everyone kind of stays together.
Because his mount is so short.
You guys are able to see a small. To all of you, it looks like a cage tucked within these magical mushrooms of some kind. And within this fungus, these kind of spores, just kind of glimmering like glitter in the air, you're able to see someone inside of this cage tucked within. It doesn't seem like somebody that's in armor. It doesn't look like Bo or any kind of deputy. This seems to be someone who is in very simple leather armor, kind of like raggy cloth clothing underneath. You see an unkempt beard, kind of like shaggy, unwashed, greasy hair. Seems like someone that's been like living rough for a long time. And based upon the story that you guys have been able to hear, whether cast through your readings, Blur through the gossip, Hathor, you know what bandits look like in Cherie. You've probably fought some of these people before. Not these, but like this type. You're able to see a poacher within this cage. And as you look in, you watch as Just not wheezing, not gagging, just breathing, and you're able to see spores. You guys kind of keep your distance away from them. You see spores enter into this man's lungs and then exit this man's lungs. And then further beyond that, you're able to see this man with a wonderful smile on his face. Not inhuman. He doesn't seem gaunt. He doesn't seem like he's been tortured anyway. But you watch as like he sticks an arm out, almost not even acknowledging your presence. He sticks an arm out of the cage, lifts it up, and you watch as a small little. You watch as a small robin lands on the tip of his index finger and a butterfly lands on his pinky. And you watch as he kind of takes his hand back into the cage and begins playing with these animals that would have no reason to interact with him. And that's very strange to all of you. You're all able to see that. We all got that?
Yeah.
Okay. You call out to the Leshy and Sylvan. Cass. Give me a performance check to see how well your voice can carry.
Okay, performance. Nine.
A 9? Okay. I'm gonna make a perception check. I'm just gonna make a perception check, and we're gonna see. This has to be a 4 or higher to hear you. Okay.
Yeah.
Like he's got his AirPods in.
Yep, that is a nat 1.
No!
As you Cass, as you're calling out in Sylvan, calling out to this Leshy, as you're looking around, the forest still looming. It is an evening as the sun is being blotted by the thick branches above you, and there is no response from the forest or any animals or anything like that. And you and just kind of putting it in your head right now, you would have to imagine that getting closer to the heart of this Leshy's territory might make you guys more noticeable. So what do you guys want to do?
For once in my life, I don't think I was loud enough.
What did you say? Because I don't.
Oh,
I
just
don't,
that.
I don't speak Sylvan.
Oh, just that we aren't here for any harm. Just that we want to find those people and get out of its hair.
Then let us keep moving. Perhaps it is too far away.
Okay.
Are none of us concerned about this mushroom cave guy, though?
Oh, yes, that's quite odd.
We don't think this
I
is
mean,
one
he
of those...
probably.
Oh, never mind.
No,
if
no,
he's
no.
like, I don't know exactly how mushrooms work in this world, but if he's like breathing spores in, we don't think this is one of those like. I think it's like a fungus that like turns ants into zombies that just like spread the fungus more.
Oh.
Hopefully, he's not just like a mushroom zombie man.
Bleursault, because it's inquisitive, give me a quick nature check.
Oh damn.
Oh damn.
Oh, damn.
13.
A 13. Blur, you're an educated man, certainly. And while, I'm not going to say anything is wrong. That's certainly a possibility. You would also know that, and most likely, within a servant position, even though being a respected sommelier, you've probably seen and had to cater to parties where people have been using mushrooms for all sorts of things. And you understand that they can cause fear, elation, they can cause visions, they can cause infections of the mind. And so, while a hostile result is certainly possible, it's not the only result you're thinking of. Make sense?
Alrighty.
Okay.
Is the cage... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, so this guy hasn't been parasitically taken over, he's just tripping.
He doesn't seem like he even notices that you guys exist as you guys are walking by.
Alrighty.
Is the cage locked?
As Cherie, I'm going to say that without even any kind of check, you're able to look over to the cage itself, and you realize that it is built completely out of like sapling trunks, basically. So with this cage, there is no lock on it. It's not something that was created with like metal. It seems that this was grown from there's no floor underneath this cage either. It seems like saplings were grown out of the ground and then meshed into each other above him, forming like a nature's cage, basically.
Can I do a thing?
Absolutely. What do you want to do?
I will hand. Hold on, wait for Moss to put their headphones on. I will hand the reins of my horse up to Hathor. Say, 1 moment. I will hop off. Walk towards. Slowly approach the cage and the person inside. Do they seem to like register me in any sense, or like does anything around me register as I approach?
Yes, and I actually need a quick stealth check from you. I need you to beat a 13.
I get disadvantage on this.
Who's it, daisies?
So my armor. What did you
13.
say? I needed to beat?
13.
Okay, that's an @1.
Okay.
No!
Cherie, I'm gonna say, Cherie, you don't actually recognize this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't recognize this. Everybody else, as you, who do you hand the reins over to?
Hathor, since she's flying above me.
As Hathor is handed the reins, Hathor, you look and you're able to see the horse go and turn its head over and look directly at Cherie.
Is he looking through the horse at Cherie?
Cherie, you approach the cage. What do you do?
So, being very careful about this, not wanting to harm the man. You said it's made out of tree trunks?
Yes.
I draw my sword.
Okay.
As I draw it, I purposefully draw it a little too close to my neck that it like nicks the nape of it. And as it does, I invoke.
Yes, okay, continue. That's awesome. Start over, please. Yes, so you nick the nape of your neck.
So I draw my sword a little too close to my neck so that it nicks me slightly, as I do, invoking a crimson rite, a rite of flame. And it's almost as the blood touches the sword, it ignites, and in the draw out and swing down, I swing into the cage to cut it open.
Okay. Okay, that's fucking rad.
Cass, let's be charming, Cherie. So fire.
So my flaming sword?
I'm trying to free this guy if he wants to be free.
He's a poacher. He doesn't deserve to be free.
He doesn't deserve to live.
He doesn't deserve to live.
As you draw your sword, as your crimson rite is invoked, give me. And I'm just gonna ask this just from you.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just giving myself damage.
Just give me a very quick initiative roll. Just you. Are you doing it?
Cast initiative.
What? Oh, I thought it was. Wait, me?
No,
Yes, you.
No, Cherie. I just need initiative from
Oh,
you.
I thought you said Cass. Holy shit!
No,
I'm so.
Cherie. It's just you. Did I say Cass?
I heard Cass.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm so
No,
sorry.
you're all right.
It's recorded.
Cool.
We'll find out
exactly,
eventually.
Sorry. Initiative.
Yes.
That's an 8.
An 8. As you
Hot dice.
draw your sword, nick the nape of your neck. Crimson Rite is invoked. You watch as your sword is kind of hefted back to start doing what you were doing only a few evenings ago, chopping wood, camping. This is not violence, this is a chore which you are used to. And as your sword goes up near your shoulder and prepares to swing down towards these trunks, let me just put you right over here. I'll put the horse right over there. As you swing down, you are able to watch as wicked quick, faster than nature is supposed to act, essentially. You watch as all of the trunks that make up this cage thicken until they are touching each other and blocking off your sight of the man. You watch as the trunks above him solidify as well and completely cut him off from any sense of the outside. You watch as that and like a mole is dragged and tunneled back into the earth, and you're able to watch as this cage begins to wicked quick disappear underground as dirt then begins piling in on top of it. And as it is pulled down and pulled back, you watch as the trees in front of you now, kind of like, again, within this thicket, you watch as the mushrooms and the trees and the flowers and the vines and the dirt, it all begins to come together, and no legs visible right now, but a torso and head 6'4", same height as you. You watch as tree trunks are ripped up out of the earth to form two crude arms, and you're able to see a ginormous Leshy figure stand before you.
Oh, buddy.
And not acting aggressively towards you, pulling this man away, looks at you, looks at your flaming sword, and looks back to you. And as the Leshy, and I'm going to call him Weep. You're not sure what that means. As Weep looks back to you, I'm going to make a quick check for Weep very quickly.
Okay. Oh, no.
Okay. Fuck me for being nice. That's what I get. Serves me
You
right.
approached with a weapon.
To open the cage.
Those were his fingies.
Did I miss
Oh,
Did
were
I
they?
miss the part where you said
I
we're
don't
gonna
know.
get the guy out?
Because Bleursault had asked what to do about the fucking shroom guy. So I was going to try to open the cage, but guess not.
As
Guess
Weep,
not.
as this ginormous figure looks at you, give me an insight check very quickly. As there's been no violence yet, but give me an insight check, Cherie.
One.
That guy is
second.
gone. Goodbye.
The guy's gone.
He's a poacher.
Yeah.
Insight?
Welcome.
Natural 20.
Nat 20.
Yeah!
You
Nat 20.
you see this? Are you?
The Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away.
So true.
I was like, my brain just went, oh, she passed. Oh, it's a nat 20. It's a nat 20? Are you shitting me? Okay, got it. Okay. Weep looks at you, and you watch this head's as big as your torso, goes, and tilts its head. And again, you're able to see a thick, bushy beard of ingrown vines and moss and poison ivy and things like that, and you're able to see glowing green eyes of like acorn and freshly sprouting seeds, and you see a luxurious mane of branches and leaves, and you see elk antlers coming out of the top of his head, and you're able to watch as his head very noticeably by about 30 degrees goes and tilts his head towards you. And with a nat 20, as you're able to see like two thick worms like on top of his eyes kind of burrow like eyebrows a little bit, you immediately know that for some reason, you have no idea why, Weep recognizes you.
Do I get a sense that this thing understands common or celestial?
You can always try.
I got a 20 insight.
Oh, you're right. Fuck. You would get the sense that if this thing was going to speak, this thing looks it looks old. First of all, no common. Obviously, no common. Mm-hmm. You would assume that this thing probably only speaks Sylvan.
I will match the Leshy's stare, not breaking eye contact. Call to the Honorable Viscount and say, "Tell your friend that I only meant to free what is not part of its home. I mean it no harm."
Of course. I'd say to Weep in Sylvan, we don't mean any harm. We only seek to find a group of people that were lost here and believed that man to be stuck. We mean no harm, really.
Okay. Couple things are going to happen in succession. I just want to let you guys know, like, so this is like 1, 2, 3 very quickly, but I love that plan. The first thing that happens, Cherie, as you say that to Weep, to this Leshy, you speak in a tongue that it does not understand. Weep looks back to you, and you're able to hear it go, and begin speaking a language that you don't understand, obviously. Cass, as you're approaching and you are saying that, again, all those stories that you've read, you realize this is Sylvan, but this is not modern day like writing or written or preached Sylvan. This is an ancient dialect of Sylvan that has not been spoken. Like, imagine hypothetically, like, you know, because we all speak English. Imagine going back to like the 1600s and being like, we're speaking the same thing. I have not a goddamn clue what words you're mentioning. Cass, you speak Sylvan, and so I'm going to give you this chance, because like you're saying that, Cherie says that, you guys are riding back. So before you guys even get there, you're able to recognize the thing is speaking an old version of the language that you know. Can you please give me a history check to see if you have the ability to modify your speech enough to make it something that this creature can understand?
You can.
I got a natural one. I forget how to speak Sylvan.
Cass, your heart drops as you realize you, like, it's that fact of like, oh, I know the language, but I don't know how to speak the language. That's the problem. And do you guys all kind of reconvene kind of like around this bend together? Like you all kind of like alter your course and go backwards?
Can I leave this thing's threatened area?
You don't get the sense that it's trying to attack you right now.
Then I will slowly back up and take the reins back from Hathor and mount my horse.
Okay. You're able to make your way back around the trail and remount C's. As you're able to remount C's, just give me 1 second just to chop away some more of this fog very quickly.
As I'm backing up, I'm still keeping eye contact with the Leshy. I do sheath my sword, but it is still flaming. It's coming out of your sheath, and everyone's kind of like, how the fuck is it not just destroying your sheath? That's incredible. And it looks like Weep kind of keeps a distance away from you because of the weapon that you wield. And you're able to watch as, like, you know, Cherie, you keep your eyes on Weep. Keep that eye contact. The moment that you turn away to mount up onto your horse, you are able to watch. You then, again, 3-4 seconds, you mount up, and as you look back, Weep has disappeared. You then you do a quick sweep of the area, and you realize that Weep. You're able to look forward, like, towards a small little trail right in front of you, and bridging across it, like you're going underneath his legs, you see that 2 trees have bent inward and joined at the top to create a torso and arms and a head, as Weep is now directly in front of all of you. And it seems like this thing has some kind of ability to travel because again, time's gonna get a little bit fucky because we're outside of initiative. This thing can move wicked fast inside of its own territory as it looks back down to all of you. We're at a stalemate. We are at a stalemate.
Can I try one more time to say to it in Sylvan? Instead of saying like full sentences, I want to try and like break it down into single words so that maybe we can like reach an understanding. And so I sort of gesture to all of us, and I say, friends.
Okay.
Forest, yours. Searching. Other intruders. All of us will leave once we find them. Intruders.
Okay. I'm going to say give me a history check with advantage, and then Bleursault, I want you to also give me a history check with advantage, okay?
Okay. 17.
17.
I got 17.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Woo!
All right. Cass, you're breaking it down into Very simple words. Very simple. And because again, the way that you just said that to me is you're not even trying to understand this thing. You're trying to give it words that it can understand, correct?
Yeah.
And you go, of course, I'm touching on everything is basically impossible, but you basically say the idea of like us, non-hostile, simpler, of course. We get people, we leave, basically. Make sense?
Yeah.
Anything else that I'm missing there?
No, that was pretty much all of it.
Me saw who?
Me saw who?
Me saw who?
As Weep is looking at you, Cass, as you're kind of like, you're gesturing, you're saying these very simple things, you watch as Weep's arms disappear into its own torso. And you are able to watch as large, like forest flowers and like the growths of like ivy on trees begin to sprout out from the nature surrounding you. And let me know if you have any reaction to this. Ever so gently, not hostilely, ever so gently come towards you and begin to slowly grow their way around your torso.
I'm kind of wary, but I'm letting it happen. I'm trusting the Leshy.
As you are picking it, you watch Weep look to you and go, and like speak to you in like a way of like, it thinks that you can, because like it's like, oh, words I understand. I'm gonna try to talk to you now specifically.
Ooh.
And as it talks to you, it then looks down and looks back up to you, and you can feel like your weight kind of pressing against these. It's not uncomfortable. It's kind of like a harness that like acrobats would use, and you feel yourself slowly being lifted up off of Alwyn as you're being lifted into the sky.
Okay.
As you're being lifted up to the sky, you watch as another set of roots comes out of the dirt path and latches itself up onto Alwyn's torso, like his underbelly, and then latch up and over his saddle and begin to raise Alwyn off of the dirt path as you just hear Alwyn go, and just begin fucking being lifted almost without reaction up towards the Leshy's face.
We're flying, buddy.
Bleursault. And you watch as, and then Cass, just one more thing. You watch as like kind of you're hovering here. As soon as Alwyn's out from underneath you, you are then placed back onto the dirt path, and Alwyn is lifted up to meet like the Leshy's gaze, basically like maybe like 20 feet above you. Bleursault.
because he's kind of a funky guy.
As you are listening to this, you look up to the Leshy. And what are you able to see? You're able to see two legs in a semicircle that meet in the middle. And you're able to see a line in the middle going up. And then you see the Leshy's head at the top. And then almost silhouetted in the back by a tree behind Weep, you see branches coming off of the tree that almost look like arms. And it looks like a very simple stick figure. And what you're able to hear in the back of your mind very quickly is, before everything, there was more. Before everything, there was more. And for some reason, you are able to look up at this Leshy, look up at Weep, as it looks to Alwyn, and what you're able to hear, Blur, and just yourself are able to hear this is, "What would your name be?" Speaking to Alwyn specifically. You are able to hear Alwyn respond and say, "Well, my name's Pinecone." The Leshy continues to talk. And as the Leshy continues to talk, you realize, Bleursault, and you can put this in your features and traits, you can speak Sylvan, and you can speak Ancient Sylvan, and you have no idea why.
Oh.
Alright, well now that I can do that, I'm gonna ask it, hey guy, what's up?
As Bleursault starts talking in a language that is incomprehensible to everybody, and it's the same language the Leshy was just saying. The last thing the Leshy is going to say, Bleursault, that you can hear before he kind of turns attention back to you, and I'll get to that in 1 second. The Leshy says to Alwyn, "Pinecone, Been many years since you have been in my land. And you realize that Leshy understands Alwyn's unique properties, which is very strange because Alwyn is summoned from a magical item that Cass has. And so a lot of things are up in the air right now of being fucking strange. And as you say, Blur, you say, hey, what's up, friend?
Yeah.
Very gently, the Leshy takes Alwyn and puts him, like, behind him, basically, like, away from Cass, essentially, separating Cass from Alwyn. No, that's my boy.
My boy.
Separating Cass from Alwyn very quickly. No. As that happens, you're able to watch as this like stick figure-esque form kind of breaks away, and you're able to see as like the trees go back to their natural position. This figure, about maybe 10 feet tall, disappears into the trees and then reemerges around the trees towards like the back of your little convoy. Shrinks down to maybe equal to your height as you're on top of your horse, and goes, "It has been so long since I have had a conversation. Who are you?"
He's talking to me right now.
Yes, he's talking to you.
All right. I'm doing well. It's been never since I've had a conversation with a tree, but this is a first for me. Anyway, instead of curiosity, do you know the deal with this? Wait, is the mushroom guy still in the cage right now?
He is gone from his last position. He is completely.
All
you
right.
have no idea where he is right now.
Huh. You know what? I'm gonna ask about that actually. I don't know if you are affiliated with this mushroom guy, but do you know anything about him?
The Leshy looks to you, and you're able to watch as one of his hands kind of comes up to his eyebrow and then kind of flicks away, like very slowly, and grows. And you're actually able to watch as a tree right next to Leshy. One second, I think the music's about to time out. Oh no! A tree like next to Leshy begins to kind of like when trees get those like bulbous growths off of them from like sap buildup essentially, and like they just kind of grow weird. You watch as that growth appears at the base of one of these pine trees, and then the bark begins to and open up, and you're able to see the cage with the guy still inside, unreactive to the entire situation. As the Leshy goes, "He's being kept in safe hands, awaiting trial."
So you have like a system of government. Do you follow the? I'm sorry, out of character. Is Allatour of monarchy? We've already established that it is.
Yes.
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 Do you recognize the king and queen, or do you have your own forest's body of governance over here?
We have no king. There is only Queen Titania.
Does Blair know who Titania is?
Give me a quick history check, and just to kind of involve everybody else. You're all watching as like this Leshy has gotten not like friendly, but is no longer like exhibiting like aggressive behavior towards Blur. And like you watch Blur is talking and the Leshy's talking, and you guys have no possible clue what they're saying to each other. What is like the reaction of everybody right here?
Bewilderment is just like looking, because she knows that Cass speaks Sylvan, so like is looking between Cass and Blur, like to see if like Cass is getting any of this.
With the nat one, I don't think I am. But I kind of whisper to Cherie and Hathor, I'm like, this is some ancient Sylvan bullshit. I don't speak this.
And then what's Hathor's reaction?
Hathor is at first just like this wide-eyed stare that just slowly curls into like just the most excited smile ever. She's just like, what the fuck is happening here? Incredible. So, yes.
It was a 9 on history, by the way.
A 9 on history. I'd say you understand the Fae Court has their own kind of unique politics, but you've never really heard the word. You never really heard the phrase like Queen Titania before.
Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna tell this guy. Well, we're just here, on behalf of, I guess on behalf of the king and queen, but really we're just here to rescue some people, and then we don't want any trouble, and then we will be on our way. But one last question before that. I don't suppose you could tell me why I know how to speak this language, because I did not think that I did. And now I do.
Leshy looks to you and goes, I cannot say. Is it no longer taught in schools? Are children no longer playing with satyrs and fairies and the like?
Not that I know of.
The Leshy looks away, and he looks to his forests, and he looks down to the paths around all of you, and he looks back to you. Everybody here, please give me an insight check.
Roll the big boy. 2.
11.
Natural 20.
Okay.
Oh! Let's go.
Cass and
Let's
Cherie,
go.
you both notice that as Weep has kind of stationed himself in one position, you're able to kind of look around and you see that, like, not in like a hostile way, you guys notice, and you watch this, and squirrels and wolves and bears and elk are all congregating around all of you. Not on the trails, but into the forests. And they're not hidden. They seem to be drawn to this Leshy's natural presence due to his overall nature, maybe due to some kind of protection, some kind of kinship. And they're all just, because it seems like, at least to all of you, this Leshy is in a constant state of movement and repair and kind of balancing nature. And him being so, or I guess them being just so stagnant in this moment, is just kind of drawing all these creatures towards that power. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Hathor with a nat 20. As this Leshy begins to kind of look around. You can't understand the language, but you understand body language. You've been taught from a very young age about empathy and just universal facial features or body language that can convey emotions. And from something that Blur just said or a question that the Leshy just asked, you're able to watch as like a small little dirt mound on the Leshy's face that can signify a molehill kind of purses together and becomes like pinched lips, and you watch as the worms that function as eyebrows kind of go up a little bit, and you're able to recognize that although it is not immediate, like it is not, well, it's more like turned up in a way like people can't, it's hard to manufacture, but you're able to recognize this Leshy is, I'm gonna say a couple emotions, confused, and it's confusion that then lends itself to fear. And this Leshy with what it just asked itself and asked Blur is afraid of what the answer might be. This Leshy looks back to you, Blur, and says, he takes a wide oak tree, a wide pine tree, off to his right, and you watch as he shrinks it down to be comprehensible, and then just very gently, with the dirt still intact, picks it up off of the ground, and just incredibly gently, carving it in the center, which could be healed later. He opens it up, and you're able to watch as the Leshy goes, "How many rings are in this tree?" and shows it to you. Give me a quick perception check with advantage.
The first one was a nat 20 for a 19 total, and the second one is a 3.
With the nat 20, you would know. I'm just going to say a number right now that's ridiculously high, and then we're going to have to walk it back a little bit later. This tree, with a nat 20, you're able to recognize there are... If you've ever seen the inside of the rings of a tree, you can tell how old the tree is. And you see that the fur, like going from the outside in, the oldest to the newest, the oldest rings of this tree easily being maybe 30 or 40 of them are kind of like odd zigzags and loop-de-loops in some way. Like there's been some kind of like, which is not natural in any sense of the word. This is like some kind of magical interaction there. And then you watch at some point these magical rings stop and they become the standard circles, perfect circles that go inward towards the base. And you're able to recognize that for these kind of like wibbledy-wobbly rings, about 30, maybe 40 of them. For the normal rings, 600, just about.
Alrighty. I'm gonna say there are between 630 and 640 rings on this tree.
You have your fucking Tina from Bob's Burgers moment of how many toothpicks are on the ground.
100? 100?
100.
You can't even count.
What is it? There's 4. No, there's 3. How many now? 3. What?
3. What?
And the Leshy looks at you and goes, I did not grow this tree. And he like kind of puts it back together and like replants it, regrows it and everything and goes, I would have been there for it. And he kind of like puts a hand up to it and goes, I would have been there every step of the way. The Leshy looks back over to Alwyn, picks up Alwyn and goes, your name was Pinecone? And Bleursault, you're able to hear her go, oh, yeah, that's my name is Pinecone. And the
So I
Leshy
speak horse now too.
and you watch I'll actually give me 1 second.
Wait, are we also hearing Alwyn go?
Alwyn, yes, Alwyn is currently is like, and it's like it's not like a donkey like because horses and like donkeys don't have like repeated like language basically, but essentially the like you guys are able to hear like it's like ees and ahs and kind of like cries and coos that are like and it's like I didn't even know donkeys could make that kind of sound. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as and you're actually able to hear the Leshy ask Pinecone, it's able to go, what do you remember? I believe you're one of mine. As Alwyn Pinecone talks back to the Leshy and goes, well, I was just enjoying myself walking around one day. And then maybe I was looking around for you. It's been a while. And then I had some guys come up to me and they had swords and nets. And then I saw them toss that over me and I said, that's not that fun at all. And then I was on the ground and then I was on the ground and then they brought out some kind of ring. And then I woke up and I had that pretty boy on my back. And then I was just told to walk, and so I walked, and it was nice to be out of the ring, but I really couldn't tell you how long I was in there. And the Leshy goes, I'm so sorry, Pinecone. That doesn't sound pleasant at all. Do you want to go back to the pretty man? And you, and again, Cass, you have no idea what they're saying to each other. Like, again, your donkey is speaking to a Leshy right now, and the Leshy mad dogs you right past Alwyn. And Pinecone goes, he's been nice to me so far. He lets me nap at the end of the day, and then I wake up and I keep walking. He's pretty nice, and I'm Pinecone. And the Leshy goes, then you may return. If there is an issue, you know where I am. And puts Pinecone down and pushes him back towards you, Cass, as Alwyn just kind of and lets you remount if you choose to remount.
I'd like to ask him if he understands me or not.
Looks to you and goes, "We speak the same language."
No, the donkey.
Oh, you want to ask the donkey if he understands you?
Yeah.
Well, of course. I didn't think. Why didn't you talk to me? We've been riding for like 5 days.
The others don't understand you, right?
I didn't. Well, they can't speak to me, apparently.
What do the two of us have in common that approaching this tree has given us the ability to speak to this tree and also each other?
Well, you're a weirdo. I'm not the weird one here. You're talking to a dog.
I think everyone here is the weird one here.
This
I think if
has
there
to
was
be a
one normal
short.
person here, they would be the weird one here.
Well, now look, I don't know if you would know this, but I'm not just a donkey. I'm not just some. No, I'm a fae spirit of some kind, and I just like taking the form of a donkey. It just feels nice to have a thick head and a thick body and 4 legs. Is that weird?
Does Cass know this? Is your master aware that you're a fae spirit?
Cass, you are able to remount. Alwyn, and you just watch Bleursault speaking an incomprehensible language as Alwyn's like, I'm just speaking back to Bleursault.
What is going on? Bleursault, do you understand my mule?
I guess I do. Also, I think he might he might go by Pinecone now. I'm not sure. Do you have a preference between Pinecone and Alwyn? What should we call you?
Well, my name is Pinecone.
Alrighty, he says his name is Pinecone.
Pinecone?
Yeah, I'd like to ask it. Is it like a secret that you're a fae spirit or anything? Like, can I divulge that information?
It's not secret to me.
I'm asking for consent.
Knew.
Alright, I divulge. He also says he's a fae spirit.
What?
I don't know.
Can I make some sort of history check? Do I know anything about fae spirits?
You can absolutely do that. Not a problem at all. The Leshy comes up to you, Cherie, and kind of like grows a face out of a nearby tree. I'm not going to give some fucking 5-minute explanation of how this thing's talking to all of you. Comes out of a nearby tree and goes, "It is time to extinguish that blade, or it is time to leave." And it has, you cannot understand this thing at all.
I was gonna say.
Blur, you hear the Leshy say this. And actually, you know what? Give me fair. Would Blur just translate everything that the Leshy says to everybody else?
Probably, yeah.
Perfect. We're gonna cut down to like 80% of the time of that. We're just gonna say that that's how it's done, and the Leshy starts talking to you, Cherie.
Can you repeat the thing that he just said that I heard, but louder?
Extinguish the blade or leave, basically.
Huh. I don't know what you mean by that. Why are you talking in riddles?
I turn to Bleursault, point to my flaming sheath.
Oh, right. Literal. No metaphors here, I'm sorry.
This is a very strange terrain. Mr. Bumperdinger, please tell your friend that I will extinguish my blade as soon as he gives us the sheriff of Bois de Village and his men.
I will say that to him, but I'm keeping in the back of my mind that I have control flames, and maybe if the situation gets out of hand, I can just extinguish Cherie's blade for her. But I'll say,
so cool. That's so cool.
But I'm not going to do that yet. I'm just going to say, in return for us extinguishing this blade and getting out of here, we would like, if you know where these people we're looking for are, we want to find them.
Give me a quick persuasion check.
Oh boy.
Can I give him help since I'm the one saying this?
You literally have a flaming sword on your back. You're lucky you don't give him disadvantage.
15.
But can I give him advantage by smiling so big?
Give me a performance check and beat a 10.
Natural one.
Why is he baring his teeth at
Yes.
me?
The Leshy looks to you, Cass, and you realize that, like, in the animal kingdom, baring your teeth is a sign of aggression, and like another Leshy face grows out of the ground and is like, hey. With a 15, the Leshy talks to you and goes, I am not cruel. I can show you the men that entered into my territory, but they must be handled within the Fey courts. The warden of the flowers will exact their punishment.
All right. I communicate that to the rest of the group, and I just ask in common, how much of a problem is that for us?
Everybody,
what's their bond?
You communicate everybody like that. Everybody here give me an insight check or a history check.
I think either way, we just say, yes, of course, and then, like, if we're gonna not do that, we decide to not do that later, but...
Can I get, you said insight or history?
Yes, you can have advantage because Faith and you're undead. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
I got 17
17
for history.
Jesus Christ. 13 history.
13 history. Hathor, insight or history? No?
Hey, I have a +6, so that makes it an 8.
Okay, got it. And then, Bleursault, what'd you get?
22 history.
22.
Nice.
Bleursault, because you understand it, and Cass, because of all of your kind of knowledge about things like this, you both come to the realization, Cass wordlessly, Bleursault through conversation, you realize this Leshy doesn't think it's on the material plane. This Leshy thinks it's in the Feywild right now. And so when it says, and I'm gonna say you both recognize this, you realize this thing believes that it is in the Feywild, and that the Fey court is gonna come and get whatever message it sent out to retrieve these people and go through a trial. You now realize that, like, wait a minute, this thing either I'll give a little bit more to that. You guys think this thing was either taken from the Feywild and put here, or was here or was here for basically asleep for so long that it woke up in a different spot. The world just changed around it, and you don't know which one of those is true. But basically, this thing is operating off of like ancient information.
All right, I'm gonna ask the group what's our opinion on if we let this guy know that we're not in the Fae right now, because he seems to have some stake in wanting these guys to be tried in the Fae court. How do we think he would take that information?
Since you are the best at communicating with it, perhaps tell it that we will bring these people to trial.
Let's not lie.
I mean, if we could, would it be a half-truth at least that by taking them back to the king and queen, that's the first step of getting them to the Fae court? Or do we think that if we just tell it we're in the material plane that it wouldn't care about that anymore?
Love is built on open and honest communication and made in good faith. I don't
Yes, and
know.
Diplomacy is built on little white lies sometimes, according to me just now.
Do we know how we might be able to direct the Leshy to return to the Feywild, if that's where it wanted to go?
I'll make a Arcana check.
Can we
Make an
make
Arcana
a
check,
check?
yeah.
+0 Arcana.
Make a check about it?
I'll make a check.
I too will roll Arcana.
Or
Ooh, natural 20 Arcana.
Not 20.
yeah!
15.
15. Bleursault, you got an 8.
Yeah.
Cherie, very relevant to you. Whatever Winter Scott Key did with the necklace, mention they made the veil stronger. We're gonna cut that cloth. Something that Winter Scott Key did either brought this thing here or woke it up. And in realizing that, you realize that without the power that Winter Scott Key left with, or whatever ritual he did, you guys wouldn't be able to get him back without either the artifact or without knowing what he did exactly.
so we might have a way to get this tree to want to work for us, or at least with us. Seems we have
Perhaps.
aligning goals.
Don't the Fae love a good bargain?
That's true.
Yes, but it's never beneficial.
Is that true? Is it always, like, in this world, is it always, like, and you're fucked?
Well, it just needs to
Benefits
be
for this.
worded carefully.
Yeah, terms and condition need not be in fine print.
Mr. Bumperdinger, since you are the one that can now apparently speak this language, I trust you can take the best course of action. Perhaps, if honesty is the best policy, perhaps inform it of the circumstances and offer it the possibility that we may be able to return it to where it belongs. Though it may take some time.
Alrighty. I'm gonna turn back to the tree again. I'm gonna say thank you for waiting while I conferred with my group here. So, and I see that you're standing up for this. That's good. If you were sitting down, I would tell you to stand up, because this is you're gonna like this. This is we're in the material plane right now. And if you want to get either yourself or these guys back to the Fey plane, that might it might be a process. But step one of that process would probably be that we take these guys back to the King and Queen. You could come with us if you want. We actually have an idea of why this happened. There's this vampire baddie that we're after. And maybe if you're into vampire hunting, maybe that could be to your benefit. To help us hunt this vampire, so you can go home if that's what you want.
Vampires.
Or you can chill here. I don't know.
She is not the villain. You hunt her.
Wait, how do you know? What? Why are you thinking of a specific vampire already? I didn't specify any vampires.
There is not villainous, you said. Deserving of hunting.
Relatively.
The vampire.
They at least stole some stuff, so, like, criminal at least.
There are those creatures that exist that do not exist in the natural order of things. Those that must be hunted to preserve what you see around us. She is not the villain, and you will not speak of her as such.
Can't tell if you're taking this a lot better or a lot worse than I thought you would. Who is this she, though?
Ifrara.
Specifically.
Ifrara.
Afrara. This Afrara is a vampire?
She was the first.
I don't think the vampire I'm thinking of was the OG vampire or anything. We might be thinking about two different vampires.
Dracula.
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
You've activated my Alucard.
I am in.
And you guys are, by the way, you guys are all able to follow. He does show you all the people that you want, and you're able to see the sheriff, an older man, two deputies, and it seemed like a more developed poacher, like seemingly the leader of the poachers essentially. And they're all tripping balls as well, just completely out of their fucking minds.
Can I do a medicine check on them to see, like? Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
You're all good. You are all good.
Okay. 17.
17?
Yes.
They're tripping balls. Currently, these spores that are being exhibited by these mushrooms that are being controlled by the Leshy, that they are currently ingesting, are causing them to basically go through elation. They're incredibly calm and they're incredibly happy, and they're incredibly unaware of anything going on around them. And this seems like, instead of... some people, and as we know, just like when some people get drunk and they're like runners or they pass out immediately, it seems like the people that were more active and had more energy on their trips to move around and just kind of get out of Dodge, those people were kept in isolation and kind of just like trapped away in the cages. These guys seem pretty calm and just content with kind of hanging out. Make sense? Okay. First of all, mentioning Afrara, seemingly the first vampire, a weird fucking yes.
Does Moss know more than Hathor does?
Yes.
From what you okay, cool.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
Besides that, going back to the material plane stuff, the Leshy goes,
The material plane. I'm not even going to ask how. You wish to strike a bargain. A sacred ritual between two parties.
I was more thinking that we would all just do our own thing based on our, but like, sure, bargains can be good. I don't mind a good bargain.
The Leshy looks around. The Leshy also goes,
Also, by the way, because I've been very rude, my name, what those call me, are the weeping eyes of ever-growing pines.
Weep. Weep for short.
Nice name. Nice to meet you. I forget if I introduced myself or not, but I am Bleursault Bumperdinger.
I like that name.
Oh, thank you.
It is.
Your name too is quite cool and fun.
Mm-hmm. You learn you and the Leshy's name, the full name at least. Looking around, doesn't know anybody else in the party. Has
his name been relayed to us?
We can just say that Bleursault is just translating everything over to you guys to make it easy, just so you guys aren't fucking sitting there doing nothing. So yeah, weeping eyes of ever-growing pines.
I do want to say to him, you can call me the Honorable Viscount Cassiano Alwyn Pavel.
I'm gonna make a quick check for the Leshy.
Does the Leshy read magazines?
Well,
Has
no,
he heard?
because names are important.
I said you can call me.
Also, by the way, typical bargains of how they would work in the Feywild, this dude is working off of the assumption that he now knows that things are going to work the same way. So things like your name or eating certain things, it's not going to have the same consequence. Just to let you guys know right now. Like when we get there, and we will get there, that's when you got to be careful. But for right now, you're all
named
good.
Bob.
The Leshy looks at you, and you're like, because the Leshy has no sense of like, again, it's a nature spirit. His being is here to protect and preserve and recreate nature like as it was meant to be, whether that was in the Fey, whether it's in the material. The laws work in the same way, expand and exist in perpetuity and exist in harmony with each other. And so you realize that this Leshy doesn't really have any ability of like comedy or any kind of like personal goals, as the Leshy looks to you and goes, and you watch as like the seeds kind of like, you watch like the bark grows over his eyes and then kind of recedes, as it's almost like he's blinking at you, as the Leshy goes,
I won't.
Says you won't. Wait, I thought he was the one who was suggesting a bargain. Now he's saying he won't.
So saying that to Cass's name.
Ah, I see.
Like, you can call me the Honorable Viscount Cassiano Alwyn Pavel III, and he's just saying, I won't do that.
Well, I don't want you to unless you say the whole thing anyway.
And then looks to Cherie, looks to Hathor.
Oh.
And?
Hello, good sir. My name is Haha.
A wonderful name. Where I come from, not uncommon.
And vines and leaves grow out of the earth, disconnected from him, essentially, or them, and just wraps around your hand and
Can I
shakes.
give a little kiss on the back?
Yes, you can, absolutely. And kind of just like shakes it up like a handshake, basically.
Yes.
And then looks towards the woman with the flaming sword.
Sir Cherie of House LaCroix.
long blinks, looking at you. And Weep says, "The LaCroix. Those I know. You, I do not." Kind of looks you up and down again, and goes, "Harm not nature, and we can be friends."
Does Blur also hear this?
Yes.
I'd like to ask him how he knows the LaCroix.
Looks over to you guys, looks over to you, Blur, and goes, "A question, one which can be answered after our bargain is struck. It is your right to invoke that ancient ritual, and I am happy to agree. Let's strike a deal together." And we're gonna take a quick break right there.
Oh.
I made a whole fucking map, and it's like, oh, this is good. I'm having a great time. We all having a good time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
yes. How does Blur know how to speak this thing's language?
How the fuck?
Wine magic.
What the fuck?
Oh fuck, I have guidance. Why haven't I been using it?
Damn it, cleric.
I'm sorry, I'm new at this. I'm just a guy.
But yeah, with that, we're going to take a quick
Just
break.
a little
We'll be back in a couple minutes. I hope everybody that's watching is having a great time. We cannot wait to see you in a little bit. All right. See you guys in a little bit. Keep it as combat just for now. Yeah, okay, and we are back. All right. We're popping back in. And actually, let me actually get some other music up. As you guys can quickly just take a minute or so to discuss what exactly you want to say to the Leshy, as I'm going to pull up some music. Sound good?
Yeah.
Nice.
What do we... I mean, I guess... What is it that we can do to help this being? What is it that it wants that we can provide it with?
First, I'd like to ask: Do we feel that making a bargain is in and of itself the correct thing to do here, or should we just try to avoid that entirely?
Ooh.
Isn't the promise of sending it home bargain enough?
But
Probably.
How about the promise that while it is here in the material plane, its forest is not touched?
that could be good.
And
I'm trying to think.
we figure out a way in which it can be assured that we'll keep that promise.
Once we return the sheriff and his men, I'm sure the mayor will be easily persuaded.
As Cherie, as you are talking about that, as you're kind of sitting again, and where you guys are, just to kind of set the scene, this looks like, again, similar to what Hathor saw with that mother deer and those fawns as they were in that small clearing in the field by those trees. This is very similar to that, but instead of it being flattened out grassland, it is lower vegetation of bushes and flowers and non-invasive species and like worms and squirrels and rabbits and just such nature occurring all around you, with a large pine tree in the center that the Leshy has kind of merged with. And Cherie, as you're saying that and kind of like just announcing his presence once again, you just feel gently, you watch as a strawberry kind of grow out of one of like the thick bushes surrounding this clearing and just gently push up against your cheek.
The sooner we can strike a bargain, the sooner we are out of this forest, the better.
The strawberry keeps pushing up against your cheek.
I rip it off and hold it out to whoever wants it.
Hathor, it is the sweetest strawberry you've ever. It's so fresh. It is so wonderful. It is your mind is not altered anyway. Again, everything works differently here.
Honestly, I feel like if Hathor's tripped before,
yeah,
she's fine.
Oh yeah.
Can I?
Yes. What's up?
Can I make an insight check about what is making Cherie so uncomfortable?
Yeah.
He's not in a box. You don't count.
Don't count.
That's a 3. What does that give me?
Can I make the inside check too?
It's been a long day. It's been a long day of travel.
Yeah.
Been a while.
Blur just took it at face value. She doesn't like being poked by strawberries.
Strawberries.
Thank you, Blur.
Consent is important.
A strawberry kind of just like snakes its way over and into Alwyn's mouth.
Pinecone. His name is Pinecone.
I'm going back and forth on it. We'll see.
Can't believe.
The Leshy reemerges, Weep reemerges, shows himself to everybody, and actually, just kind of how it is right now. Blur, you are currently in between, like an older, kind of like grayer haired, like sheriff man, and a younger boy looking deputy in like similar armor, and they're both kind of like knocking into you a little bit as they're both tripping balls. Absolutely, they're playing with the rabbits and the squirrels and everything. Hathor, you're next to a broader looking woman, pixie cut hair, with, you know, kind of like leather armor and kind of like raggedy, like torn cloth clothing, also tripping balls, and I believe that is it. And then Pinecone is just there, Alwyn is just there, licking the face of a deputy next to the sheriff, just as the deputy looks like he's having a ball of a time. The Leshy emerges, and Weep is now back, and it comes to you and says, "Okay, I just wanted to get strawberries for everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed those. If you had it, I just wanted to grow those and be a good host."
Delicious.
Thank you.
Thank you for the strawberries.
Do you have any blackberries?
The Leshy immediately kind of like twiddles his fingers, shakes his ears a little bit, and you watch as blackberries descend, like basically a bush grows out from above your head and then begins snaking its way into your mouth.
Okay, I have hands. Thank you though.
As Leshy looks and goes,
A bargain. You have revealed I am not in the Feywild, meaning there is no chance of interacting or delivering these men to the Warden of the Flowers, to Spritz. There is no way.
Not in the short term, at least, probably. I don't think it's entirely unheard of to travel between planes.
Pretty difficult, though.
I am to agree. I have no ability to do that myself. However, that means in the efforts of restoration and conservation, I am the highest ranking official within these forests. Meaning, my judgment and my punishment can be enacted on these men for being in my territory.
But one could argue that it is not your territory at all. And they made no error in sharing this space with you. They were merely operating on what they believed to be the forest of the nearby town.
blinks several times at you and goes,
If I am in a space where those can kill so wantonly, without reason or for profit, then I do hope you can return me to my plane expediently.
Of course, we will do all that we can. I simply would like to point out that this group, their intent was to kill nothing. Their leader's son and his love recently disappeared. They merely hoped to find the pair and return them to their families.
What are their crimes?
Looks at you, Cass, and just goes, liar, and just kind of gets aggressive towards you and goes,
They killed wolves under my protection. And those in the armor hunted and fed themselves, and they cut down trees to make their tents and their fires burned, and the embers struck leaves and plants.
And you realize in this moment, again, I'm gonna say you're gonna translate it through Blur. We're all good there.
Like the crunchiest fucking vegan you've ever met. In your entire
for
life.
real. So this guy's is like, if you want to, it really is kind of like national park conservation, where this guy's where Weep's logic is, if you take anything from the earth, like if you go outside of the very narrow grounds of like what is acceptable to kind of like traverse on, you are killing nature, and that is a crime in his eyes. And that is, let's be very honest, that's ridiculous. That's insane. Like, don't poach, don't litter, don't kill. But essentially, if you didn't know what was happening here, there would have been an infraction. Like, you guys, like, you entered in, and you were just lucky enough that you guys knew it was a Leshy, and was like, we need to be very careful about this. We need to, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly. And so, Weep then looks over to Hathor and goes, they poached both wolves and the gifts of the forest. Equal crimes in my eyes.
And forgive me, I saw you looking at the tree earlier, and you seemed to be a little bit out of time lately. This forest has been living and thriving for 600 years without you. And these people have been living alongside it for at least that long. They didn't know any better.
Give me a persuasion check. Actually, give it to me with advantage. That is not bad logic.
Go, Bessie, go.
Get
Go,
the
haha.
asthma. Get in the asthma.
Oh, no.
What happened?
What happened?
What happened? You pull a Cherie? Did you get 2 net ones?
It's a little bit better than that.
Okay.
Something tells me not by much.
With a +4 to persuasion, that's a 6.
That is a 6.
Oh,
Rolled a
buddy.
2 and a 1.
Oh, no.
Weep looks at you and says,
Then the laws and customs that I am familiar with have become too lax, and a reminder must be given to those who act out of turn.
Does the Feywild make examples of people a lot?
I'm gonna make a check for the Leshy now. We're just going back and forth. Again, this is soap opera role play fucking.
Why do I always want to be a persuasion gal whenever I don't have the stats for it?
Weep.
Because that's when it's most fun, baby.
Yeah.
Weep looks over to Bleursault and kind of shakes his head and goes,
We are not in the Feywild anymore.
Oh, so it's just you.
Give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Take 2. Nothing can go wrong.
Okay. 17.
Weep looks at you and goes, and you realize that, like, in a way,
Take a break.
it's similar to, like, animals isolated from their kin. Weep kind of just goes and just goes,
I have been so consumed, I have not thought of that. I hope I am not the only one here. But if I am, that's only motivation for me to return to where I am familiar.
course, nothing like home to come back to.
To that, Weep nods.
And to be able to go back home is a gift.
As Weep nods to that as well. Weep looks around to each of you and goes,
I wish to propose terms for our bargain. You wish to return these men, again,
tripping balls all around you.
you wish to return them to where they belong. I wish to return to where I belong.
And just blinks slowly at all of you.
Surely we can arrange. Surely we can arrange both. It will simply be a bit more of a process for us to figure out such a thing for you. The veil was recently meddled with.
The cloth was thinned in places.
Give me a second to think about that, because now now it's like ancient history and ancient, like, to figure out like what exactly this thing would.
Just roll for it, dude.
All right. I'm unsure, then the dice will
When
decide.
in doubt, roll a die
Exactly.
about it.
Say it's about 11 or over. He knows what that is.
Okay. Nat 20.
Looks and goes,
There are very few who would even possess the ability to do that. I think I want to go home.
Can I make... Sorry.
yeah, no, what's up? Yeah.
As somebody who is in a strange land, all by themselves, can I... Okay. I would like to use my... Did I already use my channel divinity today?
No, you did not.
No.
You know what? Fuck it. No, I'll say you did not. No, you can use it again. You might have used it when you were entering into the forest. I'll say you can use it again now if you want to.
Okay. Yes. I would like to use my lustrating beauty, and I would like to make, and I would like to give it to everybody, including the Leshy. I'd like to take his hand in between mine and his and hold it, and I'd like to go, as somebody who is a stranger here as well. It is a very strange place. Confusing and nonsensical in some ways. And if there is one thing, I think our magics are quite different, especially where we get them from, but if there's one thing my goddess has taught me, is that all good bargains and all good relationships start with common ground. And I would like to propose a sort of a deal with you. With the group. I'm sorry if I'm taking over. Fuck.
No, pop the fuck off.
Okay. What would you say? Now the village will know. Everyone who walked this forest so casually before will know. That is no longer acceptable. This place will be yours to protect and yours to defend as you see fit. Until you are returned to your home, you are allowed to make a small home here. And that will be sacred. And you are more than capable of holding people to that line. But after these men come home, I say that in a gender-neutral term, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got you.
Just no good relationship ever started on a basis of fear and revenge. And if there's one thing I know about mortals, we are tenacious. And we do a lot with our short lives. And I would not want yours or theirs to be wasted on something so unholy as hatred.
Give me a persuasion check.
Can you guide yourself?
Natural 20. I'm not fucking with you. I should have guided myself, but I didn't. But it's a natural 20.
You didn't need
It was
it.
meant to
You
be.
had the guidance in your heart.
It's my metal dice.
Yeah, it's a Hathor
It's
dice
a hot
too.
pink
We
metal dice.
love that. I am in shock because of that. Weep looks to you, Hathor.
Mom spaghetti.
And like again, you place your hands around. Again, this thing is like a formless spirit. Essentially, it is nature embodied and just happens to take like humanoid-esque forms. And as you kind of take its hand in yours, you're able to feel kind of just hollowed trunks grow around both of your hands as well in this like bonding moment.
I would like my warmth of my hand not to burn him, but to warm him.
You watch as on his shoulder, as you kind of just heat up a little bit, you watch as a sunflower sprouts on his shoulder and turns towards you, a source of warmth. God damn it, I did it again. And you're able to, another 10 HP for you guys. Okay. I'm gonna shoot you eventually. Damn it, fuck.
You got this. You got it.
So we're at 4 now, right?
Yeah. Weep looks to you and looks over to Cherie. And again, translating, active, and goes, "You are a knight of the LaCroix.
Yes.
You would not travel with a liar.
Never.
In the ancient customs, can you solidify this bargain?"
With pleasure.
And Weep gestures you over and repeats it back to Hathor very quickly and goes,
Our agreement. I am to be returned to my plane, and I shall deliver these men to you. Upon their return to their home, the villagers will respect my boundary, and those that do not shall face the consequence.
I'd like to just add in to specify, and the men will be returned unharmed specifically. Sorry, not to assume that you had anything up your sleeve there. I'm afraid of tricky happenings,
"We are a tricky bunch. I understand." And looks back
Thank
to the
you
men.
for not taking
Still,
that personally.
you're able to watch as the sheriff is now on his back and covered in squirrels, just 30 of them. As he says,
Veruca Salt getting pulled down the garbage chute. No! Daddy!
as Weep looks to you, Bleursault, and goes,
To be careful. I respect that. Their minds cannot be unaltered by anything but time. But they are unharmed physically. Any harm that was done was not done by myself or any member of my world.
and you're able to see wolves and elk and bear kind of around around your meeting area. Make sense? So yes, that's a yes. That's an active confirmation. Excellent, awesome. Damn it! Fuck! This is like torture, making me not say the word anymore. We're up to 6 now.
It's really okay. You inflicted this on yourself. We don't mind.
I
if
really
you
hate
say
saying the word though. Really
you just gotta be like, a wolf comes and bites you all of you in the ankles, and you lose exactly the amount of temp
trees
HP
fall,
you
everyone
got.
dies. I almost did it again.
Jesus.
The Leshy faints, crushing us all.
Weep.
Timber.
Weep gestures, Weep gestures
Okay.
you, Cherie, over to Hathor and himself in this embrace. And understanding that you do not, looks to you and goes, and nods to you and expects you to do something.
Do I know to do something?
You have no idea what he's expecting of you.
Then, okay, with that, Sheath's still smoking.
Mhm.
I approach the two of them. Their hands are clasped.
Mm-hmm.
I place a hand on top of theirs. And I say, by the oaths taken as a knight of the House of LaCroix, under the eyes of the old gods and new, in service of the king and queen, this deal is sacred.
Weep kind of is like, that's what I was expecting, but yeah, that works.
What do you
Go
want
off,
of me?
queen.
What do you want of me, Leshy?
I
Kind of like looks to you a little bit and goes,
You understand the old traditions.
Of course, it's how I was trained.
he looks so confused at you. Just so incredibly confused.
Can I do an inside check on Cherie?
Sure.
Sure, yeah.
Outside the box doesn't count. Fuck me.
Can't
12.
be touched.
Champion touch 12.
Can't be stopped.
Can Cherie beat a 12?
It's up to her.
What are you looking for?
Why the fuck you posted up, bro?
I don't give a.
You don't have to divulge anything. That's the beauty of inter-party insight checks,
Well,
is you get to decide.
Well, I rolled a nat 1. With whatever I was rolling.
I fired and I missed. I fired and missed.
You, as a knight, she's a protector.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. With that, acknowledging that the deal has been made, hands unclasp from each other, and Weep looks out in one direction into the forest, into his territory, and you watch as the trees and the path begins to widen before you. Enough for 3 horses, a broom, and a retinue of basically what is like 11 men, 12 men to follow behind.
Mm-hmm.
As Weep looks to each and every one of you and goes,
Then travel well.
What? One more thing before we go. Could I get some of those mushrooms?
I'm gonna need a persuasion check with disadvantage.
I rolled a nat 20 for the other one.
But Weep.
This is a new ask.
But Weep said anything that you take is a crime against nature, and so
That's why I'm asking.
yeah, exactly. So disadvantage, yeah. you're looking a nature cop in the eyes and going, "Can I commit a crime?" It's like
No, I'm asking specifically, like, could you give me permission to take this?
So
Like,
we're gonna go back and
you
forth.
can give me active consent.
Several hours go by, and then you still roll with disadvantage.
They're both cocked. Hold on.
They're both cocked.
Yeah, they're metal. They were like
A likely story.
Yeah, well, guess what, Drew? Guess what? It's a fucking 7.
7. You watch as you look over to Weep.
Now
and
you roll.
You look over to Weep. You say that, and you watch as all of the mushrooms, kind of in your little pod, begin to disappear from the ground and sprout up all over his pine tree form as a non-verbal way of saying no.
Had to ask. Anyways, bye.
I was going to say that all of you guys, unless there's anything else you wish to do within this forest, do you guys begin leading a convoy out of the Leshy's territory and out of the ancient glade?
Does the sheriff and his men, his people, have their own steeds? Or are they just here?
You would probably assume that those were reclaimed by the Leshy into the territory.
Are they just trailing behind us, stoned?
Everybody grab the rope. No one let go.
I will at least
Buddy sister.
the sheriff's been pointed out to us, right?
Yes.
I will take the sheriff and haul him onto the back of my horse.
Horsey. And just begins petting the back of your horse.
Can I do a medicine check on them to see if I can have them come down from their trip?
Everybody here give me a medicine check.
I'm tempted to be like,
I could detect if they're poisoned. I could not do anything about it.
I rolled a 10.
Gas is
No,
like,
an
those guys
8.
are high.
I'm not actually going to do this, but if I was a bad person, I would glance around to see if any of them look like they're like kind of on the verge of like a bad trip or something, and just be like, "Do you ever think about how ghosts can't be stopped by anything?"
Okay, so
Dad?
what'd you all get for medicine?
I got a 12.
12. What'd you get, Hathor?
I don't want to tell you.
Okay, understood. Cherie?
Well, let me know if you want me to roll. I have lesser restoration. Do you want me to make a check, or would lesser restoration help with this?
I have lesser restoration too.
Does that work as like a spell slot? Does that work as like just a?
I have that because of Celestial Legacy.
And then
I have it as a spell slot.
Here, just give me medicine, very simple, just to see if you can figure it out, and then I'll allow you to use lesser restoration if you fail. Make sense?
Medicine 12.
12. What'd you get? Tony, what'd you get?
Oh, sorry, what were we rolling?
Medicine.
Medicine.
Medicine, sorry. I was too busy, to 2. I was too busy thinking about my bit while you were telling me to roll.
These guys might just be like this forever, you guys. You really have no idea.
Wow.
That's another thing I would say to them. It's like, you ever think that this might just never end?
Are you doing this on purpose?
Oh, you took those forever shrooms. The shrooms that last forever. Hope you're having a good time, 'cause it's permanent.
I just invited over 12 people to our house, and they can't know that you're high.
I called all of the kids for an hour, and if any of them find out you're high, you're fucked.
Forget the Leshy's punishment. This is
that is the most uniquely crafted circle of hell.
As I mount my horse, I tap the sheriff on his back and I cast lesser restoration on him.
It's hard to say.
Lesser restoration, exactly. Like or as you
Hey, 2 more points.
No, that was me intentionally doing it. As you plant your hand on the sheriff's back and you kind of snap him back out of it, you realize that it was a high that was only prevalent. You also recognize that these people aren't thin or seeming like suffering from dehydration or like sunstroke. It seems like they've been kept in pretty good conditions, restrained still, high out of their minds, not optimal, not ethical, but they weren't being tortured or deprived of things that they needed to survive. Mm-hmm. How do you lesser restoration the sheriff as I get his name up?
Restore the shit out of him.
it's very efficient. I think it happens like as she's got one foot in the
Stirrup.
Stirrup. Thank you.
I got you.
And as she's like swinging up, she just lightly like taps him on the back, like as if you were like rousing someone for a watch. But as she does it, her hand kind of glows. And once she's settled, she says, "Wake up, Sheriff. We have a long ride back to Bois."
As you, again, just plans out very quick. Again, you are immediately establishing, because again, you outrank this guy both in your own house and governmentally now. As you swing your leg up, you do that, the sheriff, all right, and it just kind of immediately comes, it is the, like, I'm not talking like the deep dive down, like the depression of coming out of a high can sometimes do if it's like long enough. It's immediately like, back to, imagine being like, everything is wonderful, it's like nature and excellent high, and you're back to like, oh shit, we're in the middle of a forest and I just fought a monster and I lost. And he is back up and he looks to you and he goes, I'm looking at you right now. Your name is, you're Sir Cherie. And it seems like the memories are kind of like coming back to him now as he's talking, and he goes, it's gonna be a long ride back to Voir, that's for sure.
It is. Are you comfortable riding behind me?
I'm currently bareback behind you, but I think I'm gonna be okay.
Good. What is?
He's like face down, like over the horse.
He sticks himself up and kind of gets onto the back.
Yeah. Once he's up, I'll help him like sit up behind me.
Clank, clank, clank.
Forgive me. I do not know your name.
Oh, my name's Max. My name's Max Belassi. Sheriff Belassi, people call me.
Sheriff Belassi, you have quite a task awaiting you back in Bois de Village.
There's no time for like some water, like any kind of, just like, you know.
I hand him my water skin.
Immediately, just like the entire thing is drained, and like he opens his throat. It's gone in like 15 seconds. As it is gone,
he opens his throat.
He goes, there's some kind of problem. There's some kind of problem back at the village. The poachers and the Leshies was the biggest issue.
Would you like me to tell you now, or would you prefer to rest and find out yourself?
I would say tell me now. And as you guys kind of ride on, you can kind of explain that. Anybody else want to interact with any of the poachers or any of the deputies that are coming back to you to the village?
Oh, there's poachers mixed in with the group?
Yeah. Okay. So
I bind their wrists and
What if we just let Leshy kill them?
put them with an official.
Yeah. Every poacher is attached. So again, you can leave all these people high if you want, and they'll just follow you around because they don't really have any kind of filter, essentially. And so if you guys want to get them back to the village and then lock them up there, you can definitely do that. If you want to have them come down now, you can attach every poacher has a deputy attached to them, like basically like wrist and wrist, essentially. That makes sense. Yeah.
God. It's like one of those terrible BuzzFeed videos. Couples spend like 24 hours handcuffed to each other.
That doesn't seem impossible though. But
before we take any of them down from their high, Cass is gonna spend like a solid 20 minutes going around to like a couple of the poachers and just like sneaking around and like snapping around their heads and trying to like to get them to keep looking for it.
No, I don't know. I can't find what's making the noise. Well, I'll find you, snapping demon. I'll find you someday. Looking
and he
around.
just does it until he gets bored, and then he hops back on Alwyn Pinecone, whatever his name is.
Pinecone. As you're,
I can't wait for that to be his catchphrase. Like, we're fighting the big bad, and then the wall comes in. Hey, it's Pinecone!
It's so funny because you can't talk to him. Only Bleursault can talk to him. So Cass, fucking with the poachers, understandably. Bleursault, what are you doing? Kind of like any preparation before you guys ride back to the village?
Honestly, probably not much specifically. I'm just glad that the entire time the other people were doing the negotiation, I was just running through like a backup plans of ways to convince this guy on a technicality that letting these people go is the correct thing to do. But I'm glad that it didn't come to that.
Okay. And Hathor, anything that you're doing before your long march back to Back to Voix.
Are there any of those mushrooms around?
Make a nature check. Make a nature check.
We're gonna get got.
Okay. 13.
Okay. As you are exiting the forest, just like where you saw the first cage right before you saw the Leshy, you're able to see the same kind of natural protrusion. You're able to see like where the cage used to be. And just before, again, I'll just show it right now on the screen. Basically, right here where you guys entered, like right as you guys came into the territory, there is just one singular small mushroom poking out of the ground.
Is it giving off any spores?
You're able to see it's kind of like every 15, 20 seconds, it...
Can I get a little tiny pouch and catch the spores?
Catch the spores. Give me...
Five.
Remember, you're going for the...
Four.
Remember, you're going for the whore. Can you please...
Are you coming for the war?
Can you
Oh
please...
shit, the war! Oh shit, the war!
Give me a sleight of
The
hand
wah.
check, please. Just because you want to get a pouch and no, not to like steal. You want to just like kind of waft a bag through the air and catch it like a fart in a jar.
Can I re-roll?
Hathor, what did you do?
Wouldn't it be so fun mechanically? Like, 40 episodes from now, like down the line, I just throw a bunch of spores in a guy's face. Wouldn't that be so fun and so
I'm
cinematically?
gonna give you one more shot. I want you to take out a coin. Do you have a coin?
No.
This is how we
Yes,
can still
yes, I
have
do,
combat
I do.
in this session.
Flip this coin. If it is heads, you will get the spores.
Cool.
As you,
I didn't want the spores anyways, it's fine.
As you take the pouch and are gonna get it into the air, you just see in one of the pine trees, the evergreens, you're able to see just a face just kind of like SpongeBob going through the wall, like just stretching out.
Oh, come on! It's just the spores!
And with that, you guys are...
I could spread them across the land and make nature more abundant.
As you
Or
guys
you could start an apocalypse.
are able to ride...
Did Tree Man ever think about the fact that humans is nature?
It's the last of us as you guys ride out of the forest back towards Voix de la Village. Now,
I think I'm making it canon now that Hathor has no fucking clue what to do in nature.
now as you
She's
guys
a
are
city girl.
as you
She's
travel
a city girl for sure.
as you travel back west towards Voix de la Village, as you travel back to as you travel there, there's an important question I must ask you now before we end. As the deputies, the sheriff, and even the poachers have been rescued from the Leshy's grasp, which, as a DM, I'll just tell you right now, didn't expect that to happen at all. I, like, even in terms of the non-combat solutions that I anticipated, I was like, these poachers are fucked. There's no way they're getting these guys out of here. But with
Victims of circumstance.
but with all of that, a very important question. Do you all want to head directly to the ancient mountainous theater with all of the people in tow? Or do you want to stop at the village first to drop people off and go from there?
How much would stopping at the village delay us?
Well, it'll depend. When I say stop, a long rest would have repercussions. A short rest, repercussions, but less so. Simply going through and dropping the poachers and dropping the sheriff and dropping the deputy off? Absolutely. Now, admittedly, most of these people are high out of their minds, though. And so, and again, sometimes walking and water and some stimulation can help people come down a bit faster. It's very probable that these poachers aren't going to want to help you. Maybe the deputies that don't come down won't either. So there's a lot of factors here that are at play, some of which you guys just can't control. So I just want to, in terms of the traveling delay, it depends on what you want to do in the village. Because, again, it's only maybe 3 miles out from the actual village where the theater is. But I just want to know what you guys are thinking of.
I feel like the reason we went to get the sheriff first was so they could help us get the mayor and his kid and the mayor's son and the baker's daughter. So I think, personally, maybe heading straight towards the theater would be the best course of action, and whatever happens. We can try our best to get these people to sober up. If not, we're capable enough.
Yeah. I do think that it could maybe be a good idea to at least drop, like, the poachers off.
Put 'em in
And
jail
not really
with the
stop
boy.
for arrest, because I feel like they will get in the way and also probably have like 10 hit points.
Oh yeah, like also what happens if anyone without us knowing like goes into the forest and messes with this tree
They
guy?
die.
Will he consider our deal to be broken and be mad at us? Like, do we
No,
need
he'll
to
just-
be the
he'll
forest
just-
police now?
He'll just give him plant justice.
Alrighty.
Welcome back to the plant's court. With your host,
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Judge Weed.
Boom.
Judge Judy music plays.
Da, 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 da.
Why do I hear boss music?
That's the Leshy leitmotif, bitch. Get ready.
we have per head worth plant pun. Haha.
Okay, so I am just gonna want to vote because again, if you guys want to take your time and kind of make that decision, that's gonna be a decision. So I just want to know what the general vibe is.
I think we go in there, throw the poachers in jail, let everybody know what the new deal is, and then be like, we're gonna go save the mayor's son. Bye!
Do like a
and
drive by.
and get a short rest along the way.
Yes.
I'd allow that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Just like a quick like, little montage thing, you guys are able to. So you guys rock up to Voix. You come in the eastern section, and you guys are trotting like not at a slow speed as these guys are like poachers kind of tied up in the back, and like the deputies kind of like hanging on to them are kind of just like running behind you guys and the horses as the mayor sees you and goes, "You have returned. What a pleasure to." Okay.
We've got business. We gotta walk and talk. Come on.
Okay, the mayor starts running up beside you guys, being like, "So how was the forest?"
You have
there's
to
a
do that the whole
big,
time.
Yeah, did we explain? There's a Leshy in there. It's a big Fae thing. It's trying to get back. Y'all can't go in there. If you do, you can't fuck with shit.
Only hikes only.
Hikes
Look only.
No camping, no hunting.
If you shit in the woods, you bury it.
Okay, that's good for the environment. Yes.
Yes.
Leshy, you say? He kind of like looks a little bit concerned at that.
While the world is fucked up with the Veil, that will be his home, and you guys will keep your distance, and he won't fuck with you.
We intend to journey to the castle with no name in the east to fix this. When we do, the Leshy will go back to its home.
Understood. I will get a message out to both my village and also the Dubois and any travelers to ensure that they are not going to...
What's your cardio routine?
To make sure... Oh, none. I have not run in 20 years. But I will make sure that a note is given to all reputable individuals to not go into the forest and to advise those that do go in that it may be their last if they interfere. Make sense?
Yes.
Very much so.
Okay. I will also make sure that the townsfolk are able to take these poachers which took their sons away and place them into quarantine, essentially awaiting justice for when our deputies have come down from the high of a lifetime.
And you would do well to treat Deputy Beau with some more respect.
Give me an intimidation check with advantage, Cherie.
With pleasure.
Pleasure.
Ooh, doggy.
This is when Cherie's at her hottest.
Guidance. I cast
I'm
guidance.
I'll take it. Sure.
D4.
Yeah. Intimidation. Wait. 23.
He kind of like hauls ass a little bit to like catch up to you leading the pack, and he runs up to you and goes, after such and it appears to be that the men, and he looks back and like everybody, even the poachers, are uninjured completely, and he looks completely shocked. And you guys are able to watch as like parents and businesses start like looking outside of like this train coming through the village of like, you know, all these people, and mothers and fathers and brothers and sons all rush up to the deputies that have been rescued, the sheriff as well, and begin hugging them and just crying and just tears of joy. And you're also able to watch as they look so confused because they're all tripping balls and they don't know what's going on. But it's more like
I'm your mother.
It's more like, I know you got drunk at the party. I'm just happy you made it home safe. And it's like as the mayor looks back and realizes that not only are all of the men unharmed, all the men and the women, because they know they're women deputies as well. All the men and the women are unharmed, but it's like they're all here. Like not a single person was lost. He's like, Bo, yeah, yes, and like not just fully like no like willing dealing is like, you have authority over me and you clearly have skills that I have not seen. Yes, agrees with you 100%.
Very well. We shall retrieve your son and the baker's daughter post hence.
Yeah. And again, like the stress kind of, again, the joy of seeing all these people return to his town, criminals as well, like being like, oh, we can handle this internally now. The weight of his son's absence kind of rests back upon him as he goes, please do. Now, I'm going to have a heart attack if I keep running after you, but travel well. And
I send my horse into a gallop away.
I'll make a quick deck save for him. Not one, as he falls into the mud completely. And as the other horses, like, you got Pinecone and you got Hathor on the broom. And you got Bleursault. The horses kind of, they've just been kind of like falling at the same speed as mud kind of splashes on him, gets on his glasses. As he looks up, he goes, farewell and travel safely. And just covered in mud.
No, never mind.
What's up?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, not a problem. And you guys are able to ride off to the south towards the ancient theater where the mayor's son and the baker's daughter have gone missing. And I'm going to give one little last description before we sign off. That sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we mark a short rest?
You can mark down a short rest as I am giving my narration. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you guys ride as fast as you can, Pinecone's little legs doing his best. Bleursault, you're able to hear, I've never run this fast before. Rushing after Cherie's big black workhorse mount. As Bleursault, your steed, not Pinecone, keeping up without an issue at all, a thinner kind of racehorse build. Hathor swooping in and out of this line of horses, as you all are able to approach this ancient theater carved into the stone. Again, exactly as Bo described to you several days ago, you're able to see a large archway leading inside, not even lit by torches, into a proper entrance to a building. This could be the maw of a cave by how unpopulated it looks. And to the upper left and the upper right, you're able to see carved overlooks staring down at you. Simple, almost like holes in the mountainside. Clearly some like grander structure from hundreds of years ago has withered away just due to mountainous exposure to the elements. And as you kind of approach upwards to this hole, you guys are able to hear one final thing as you kind of pull your mares back and kind of jump off and hitch them to like nearby bushes and trees, knowing that bringing mounts into an underground cave system is a good way to get them freaked out and have them be more of a hindrance than a help to you. The last thing that you're able to hear before we're going to end tonight is you hear, let me see if I can actually find this very, very quickly. I can. What you're able to hear is this. And you're able to hear chains dragging against the ground. The second to last thing you're able to hear is the scream of a woman. And finally, the bellowing chant of, the chains that bind. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? Oh no.
Ladies and gentlemen, are we all having a good time?
Oh
Yes.
yeah!
Yes,
Oh
yes,
yeah!
Allatour's
Damn, we
Proper
fucked up.
Adventures.
Something
They're-
tells me we did these in the wrong order.
We fucked up.
Fucked up.
We fucked up.
Well, like, I'll be fully honest with you. I love the idea of having combats that have the ability to be ended through non-violence. I love that idea of like, because I'll be very honest, there was an option you guys could have went in guns blazing, tried to kill the shit out of that Leshy. Totally cool. You guys could have talked him down. You did talk him down. I absolutely love that. I will be fully transparent with you. You guys are going into a fight. You guys are going into a fight with this next thing.
Go.
Go.
Let's go.
But I hope that was bitchin'. I hope that was a fun time.
Yeah.
So
Fucking
fun.
bitchin'.
What did,
There was so much face shit.
there was so much. I'm
So
so
much fake
excited.
shit.
Who did that? Owen. And also, by the way, Darby.
Pinecone.
Darby, you can determine if you want his name to be Alwyn or Pinecone. I will let
That's
you make that
so
call.
good. I don't even
Pinecone.
know yet.
Let the horse choose his own name.
He's his own. He's his own.
Horse
mule.
rights.
So
Sorry, I was stupid.
Everybody knows the story of Dee's, Kate's character's horse from the Four Winds. Pinecone is now going to be a new. I did not expect, and again, like certain words of like, obviously you bringing in like not unsummoning Alwyn, like all that kind of stuff. It's like yeah, like there's some weird stuff going on there as well. Like because now just in case like your beans wondering some stuff, it's like hey, where did Alwyn Pavel get this ring, and why is it a fey creature inside? Like there's some there's some questions there. Of, like,
How
where
did he
that-
recognize Cherie? How did the Leshy recognize Cherie?
And he
You're
knew.
a fucking vampire. I'm calling it right now.
That's treason.
That tree.
That's a war crime.
That's treason.
Oh,
That's straight up treason.
Wait.
we should have
Wait, what?
done more tree puns. That was our own mistake.
Yeah. Leave me alone.
Leave me alone. I'm bush.
We get the
You're
lesson
barking
to
up the
initiate
wrong
combat
tree.
by making too many tree jokes.
Come on, man. I'm going out on a limb here. Just agree with me. Hey.
And that this Leshy apparently knew the first vampire. Wild.
nuts.
Whoa.
Wild and
I mean, he's
crazy.
hundreds of years old, so it makes sense.
old.
For
He's
a second, I
old.
thought he was talking about
He
Cherie.
went to the old beach. Yeah, I was like, I also was like, wait, is Cherie the first vampire? And she doesn't know.
Bitch, I'm like 35.
I think he would say
never
the
knew.
first
Why did
vampire,
you
and
think
look,
he
there
was
she
talking
is.
about Cherie?
Because he said she, and I don't know.
Yeah.
There's more than one
There's a
woman
lot of
who-
she's.
Guys, look, I'm a sellout to the progressive ideology. There are women in my games. I'll be honest with you. Like, guys, I'm sorry. Look, I'll just put my political ideology back on the table. I know. Damn it. Shit, he saw
I'm
that.
calling Ben
Damn it!
Shapiro.
Oh God! Damn it! Shit! Fuck!
Ew. What the
Ew, what the fuck?
Women
calling
not
Ben
only
Shapiro.
as sex
Yeah.
objects for
If
me
he-
to play
he literally
gaming.
says, I say the pronoun she, and people be like, is it Hathor or Cherie? It's like,
It was a she and a vampire, and we
Yeah.
had suspicions, so we were like,
Yeah.
Winter Scott
I'm not
Key
the
is a
only
dude
she
and
in
a
the
vampire.
world. What'd you say, Drew? Sorry.
Don't anybody pretend like you know what's going on yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you know? Nothing. Exactly.
Quite a bit, actually. Drew gave me the world history.
That's
Damn.
no, but also with
That don't
what,
mean anything.
with what, yeah, exactly. That doesn't mean anything with the
That.
present day context. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, that was so much. I
Yeah.
had such a fun time doing that. It was
It's
just talk.
like the knowledge I have is like reading about the Civil War and then nothing in between then and now.
Back in my day.
Oh, pine cone.
Great way to break the
He's
tension.
gonna have like a Beaky moment from Never After and go,
You're a
"You
dumb
motherfucker." You.
I can't
Coming
wait.
out
he's
of-
gonna turn on me.
I can't wait for Pinecone to accidentally romance a red-pink dragon and then burst through a church and say, "Everybody back off! I'm a donkey!" Yeah.
I got a dragon. I'm not afraid to use it. I'm a donkey on the edge.
I'm a donkey on the edge.
I'm fine, cone.
Is he a donkey or a mule? Or are we just playing that fast and loose?
I don't know the difference,
A
honestly.
mule is a
I
hybrid
just-
between a donkey and a horse.
There are.
I've just been calling him a horse in an attempt to be respectful.
He's
to
a
cats, I guess.
pony.
He's gotta be a mule because roll mules.
Yeah, okay.
Go
there you go.
mules.
Yeah,
Go
mule. Okay, yes,
mules.
he is a mule. But I fucking love the idea. Oh my god. Just talk to him all the time. Just be like, hey,
With
you can work as a
pleasure.
spy. No one's gonna suspect you.
So good.
Holy
my
shit. But yes.
What if I start lying about what the donkey is saying? He's like, I saw a cool tree over there, and I'm like, yes, your donkey says fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. Holy
They would've
shit.
Totally could.
Pinecone, stop saying so many slurs.
I'm Pinecone, fuck you.
His
Pinecone.
catchphrase.
Oh my god.
His catchphrase is cemented and immortalized. He is Pinecone.
He is Pinecone. Now and always. And with
I
that,
wanted those spores so bad.
you are.
What are we gonna
look,
use them for?
Shenanigans.
I
So
want you
true.
to understand something, and I don't think this is a spoiler because this is just how the rules that I set them up. If you would have taken a mushroom on your way out, you could never have gone in that forest again without the threat of violence. I think that is not an inaccurate thing to say.
Very true.
That is fair.
Listen, we would have
but
sent
hashtag
him
work.
on his way before I went back in there.
It's true. Also, there was a not 0% chance that you guys were going to like have Weeps just come with you for a little bit. Would if you guys would have negotiated well enough?
Eastbound down.
Yeah.
Just have, like,
What was it getting for?
They say hi, buddy. Hi.
I wanted the fifth party member,
The fifth part, Weep.
the big tree friend.
No, well, that's also the thing. I also had a well, if he would have joined you. It's not an option now, so don't do it. So I'm gonna tell you this now. The option for him to join you was he would have taken a respectful kind of summoning of a what would appear to be a horse's the front half like a horse's skull and put that onto Pinecone, and the effect of that would have been every single evening you guys would have had a little what is the hut that Lot can do?
Lehman's
Oh,
tiny
Lehman's
hut.
tiny
It
hut?
would have been a Lehman's tiny hut made out of little nature stuff as a little part of his thing. And he would have been talking with you. He would have been the hut basically, but he would have been talking to you guys and keeping you safe and everything. So yeah. Because I'm not gonna give
I
you guys
am
the
the
power of a
hut.
Leshy just in the go Leshy! I'm Weep. Just
I choose you.
Weep, weep,
Weep. Okay.
Oh
but
my
with-
goodness. What
but-
was his full name again? The Weeping Eyes of the Ever-Growing Pines.
Yeah.
That's sick, dude.
But speaking of weeping, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Because we're gonna be signing off. I hope everybody that's watched had an excellent. I wanted to be
Goodbye,
over.
buddies.
Everybody
Thank
have
you
an
for
excellent
coming
time.
to play
Thank you for
with
sitting in with
us.
us. We hope you enjoyed this, and we can't wait to see you next time. Get ready for them to fight the chains that bind. Peace out, everybody. Much love.
Bye.
Au revoir.